Not everybody's here. Everybody's on vacation this week, and next week's 4th of July. So this is a newbie college for people new to the program, where I explain some stuff, answer some questions, and explain the forms. And we go through them one at a time. So what's up, Drew? So first things first, the coaching groups are going out today. You'll get your calendar and email today from Rebecca. You'll find out your coach and your time slot and who else is on your call today. It's a little bit delayed, but not a lot. We don't coach this week. Obviously, it's the first week of July because there's 5 Wednesdays in July and because it's the 4th of July week. So you get coached twice a week. So you still get coached twice this month of July. Any questions on that? Okay. So you're going to get coached on Wednesdays. The rules are be on time. You could write these down if you wanted. It would make me very happy. Be on time. Don't be late. Don't be late to calls. It's just you're paying money to be coached. You guys gotta if you've been kind of bouncing around in your business and sometimes you're serious and sometimes you're not, this part is time to be really serious. Be on time. Don't be driving in your car. Don't be sitting out in front of a realtor office. Put it in your schedule. Maybe put a half hour on each side so you have time to get organized. But don't treat it don't treat it like golf. I know you all suck at golf. Don't treat it like golf. There's some people out. Be serious. It's not a hobby. Being coached is not a hobby. It's you kind of don't have a boss in this business. You get to come and go as you please. If you want to go get your shoes shined, you can. If you want to go stop by and get a haircut at 1 o'clock, you can. When you work for the state, they don't let you do that shit, right? You guys know that. Because you got a boss, and you got to be there at 8, and you take your break at 8:10, and you got to be back at your chair at 10:10, and then you take lunch at 12:30, and then you go home at 5, and if you have overtime and it's not approved, you get written up. That's what a job's like. I don't want a job. You guys want a job? No. Problem with the way you guys do it is, the way we do it in our industry is because of that, you don't have a boss. Right? And so your effort is kind of really hard and then really soft. So is mine. So the idea of coaching is you finally have a boss. So act like that. I swear you'll get way more out of it. Be on time is rule number 1. Write these down. Rule number 2, no EORs on the call. It's called the Tigger rule. Don't tell me you don't know who Tigger is or Eeyore. It's from Winnie the Pooh. So if you young people got to go look up Winnie the Pooh, look up Winnie the Pooh. Tigger, happy about everything all the time. Eeyore, pissed off, sad all the time. So don't be an Eeyore on the call. You're having a bad day, so what? I have lots of bad days. Everybody has bad days. Don't bring it on the call because the other people on the call are working on their business, and I don't want you to bring them down. Be responsible for your attitude. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3, turn in your stuff the day before. I'm going to go through that right now on this call. It's the purpose of the call. But on Tuesday, maybe even right now, schedule in your Microsoft Outlook a recurring event for 1 hour on Tuesdays to organize and send in your forms. Then you won't forget. Don't be like one of my teenagers and think you'll remember. You won't remember. So you got your calendar, it pops up on Tuesday, organize and send in your forms. So you print out whatever forms are due, send them to your coach. So do that send them in 24 hours early. Send them in for sure on Tuesday before you go to bed. Any questions on that? So far, these are pretty easy. Step number 3, or rule number 3. I don't even know what rule number I'm on. If I get off the numbers, then don't worry about the numbers. So rule number 3 is best effort and improvement. Best effort and improvement. So what I mean by that is I don't expect it to be perfect. Just do your best effort on filling out the form. If every single lead didn't get on your lead tracker, so what? Send it in. If you don't know how to do the personal budget the first couple times, so what? Do your best and send it in. If it doesn't make sense, so what? Do your best and send it in. It took me 6 months to get the forms right when I first started getting coached. 6 months. Because if you think about it, you only work on your budget one time a month. So your third, fourth, or fifth or sixth time of doing it is about when you'll figure it out. You're not going to figure it out the first or second time. It's not that easy. Just best efforts and keep making improvement. Any questions on that one? The forms that you turn in are on your schedule you're going to be sent. You're going to get calendar invites and it tells you what forms are due. Plus you're going to get a piece of paper. I don't have one right now. It shows you the 6 months and what forms are due on what day. It's very clear and easy to understand. So it tells you what forms to send in. Those forms track your leads, your closings, your sales effort, and your money. Without them, it's very hard to coach you. If I don't know how many leads you're getting and I don't know how many closings you say you have, it's very hard to give you an assignment to fix. So I need best effort. I can't tell you how important it is. Do your best effort. It doesn't have to be perfect, and then just keep getting better. The next rule, I think I'm on number 4, is your coach is going to give you, I don't like to call it assignments or homework, but money-making activities. That's what we're going to call it, Rebecca. We're not going to call it assignments. Money-making activities. They're going to give you money-making activities. Sometimes you can't do it because you're going to go on vacation during that 2-week period, or you've been doing loans for 35 years, you got $6 million in the bank, and goddamn it, you ain't doing an open house, which is probably none of you. But maybe you're just like, dude, I don't want to do open houses. Be honest. Right there on the call. If it's a realtor and you're like, I don't want a door knock. Be honest. Tell right there on the call, man, can you give me something else? Anybody ever hired a personal trainer? Yeah. So then when your arm hurts, do you get to stay home or do you get to still go and do something else? If you stay home, they still charge you. If you don't do the activity we give you, I still charge you. So on the call, speak up. Can I have something else? They'll give you something else. Now, it shouldn't be that often. But like once you hang up from your coaching call, that's you agreeing to the money-making assignment, the money-making activity. Call 100 past clients in one day. Dude, can I do 50? First time you can do 50, sure. Questions on that? It's probably the most important part of this call. Somebody asked me a question. Good question, Drew. Give me an example of what would happen. That was a good question, Drew. Really good. Thanks for speaking up. So if I gave you like, hey man, I want you to work 4 open houses each of the next 2 Saturdays and meet with at least, that would be 8 open houses, and meet with at least 4 of them in person. And it's, let's say it's graduation week and you got like 5 graduations to go to and 2 parties at your house. So, okay, 2 each Saturday and 2 appointments in person. It'd be something like that. Good example, Drew. Way to step up. Anybody else got a question like that? A realtor says, I ain't door knocking. Like, I feel uncomfortable door knocking. I don't want to door knock. No problem. Plan and schedule. Pick a date for your first client appreciation party and a location. That's your homework for the next 2 weeks. And then we'll work on the next step of you having your first party. They'll give you something different that makes you money. But don't come back later and say, like that don't work. Is everybody comfortable with that one? By the length of time I'm spending on this, it hopefully is telling you how important it is that you speak up and then you do whatever you said you were going to do. The difference between people in this business who make a lot of money and who don't are the ones who did what they said they were going to do. So speak up. All right. Let's see. Any other rules, Rebecca, that I should add on for their concierge? She's not listening.
Nope, I think you covered it.
Oh, no. So you have to respect your concierge. So we have someone that's either going to be Julie or Rebecca that helps the coach gather your stuff and send in the stuff. And you're like, oh, my coach gave me an assignment and I don't know what he meant or she meant. You can contact your concierge, which will be Julie Reed or Rebecca, and they'll find stuff in our database of forms for you. They'll find, like, you want to do a leveraged event and you want to teach on Loans 101 to a bunch of realtors. There's probably a presentation on that. She can find it for you. You can find it on our website. But when you use them, be super respectful of them because they're supporting a lot of people and they can't drop everything every time you reach out to them, but they are there to help you. I don't understand how to fill out this form and I can't get a hold of my coach. Well, your coach is doing loans. So they're not picking up the phone every time you call. But their concierge could help you with how to fill out the form. They know all this stuff. So they're there as an extra layer of support for you. So just be super sweet to them. I'm very protective of them. They're like my daughters. Sound good? Okay. So now we're going to go through the forms. And you have no questions on what's expected. Everybody's on the same page. Let's go. Which one are we going to do first? Let's do greatness tracker first. 1, 2, Becca?
Yes.
Let's start with the realtor one if you want. Are realtors on here? Raise your hand if you're a realtor. Yay, realtors are on here. I'm happy. So there's greatness tracker and success tracker. Marjorie created success tracker for realtors. This form is something you fill out every week. So it's being emailed to you if it hasn't already. It's accessible on our website under the forms for realtors. And you print them out. What I recommend you do is print 10 or 20 of them out and put them in a folder. Like, I think you should have a folder. Like, Becca, I don't know if you have time to run over here with one of my folders, my coaching folders, or any folder that I use for sales. Coaching folder would be fine. But like a regular folder. Actually, yeah. Get a folder and print out 10 or 20 of them and stick them on with the, like an old school, ACO, cheap folder with ACO. You guys know what that is? People, when we used to use paper. Get a folder and that's legal size like that. On the left side, put 10 or 20 of your sales trackers. And for realtors, it's the success tracker. And for us, we still call it greatness tracker for lenders. Print out a bunch of them. Have it on your desk all the time, up in the corner. Open. One side is your greatness tracker. The other side is your lead tracker. When you get a new lead, write it on your lead tracker. I know we're all super techie in the computer system. If you're doing it that way, okay, but I still got to have it in paper when you send it in, and you still got to fill out your next level success tracker every single week. So I don't know if we can make it bigger because I got old eyes. Scroll it up a little bit. There we go. Stop right there. Oh, that's better. So, is Marjorie on here? No. So Marjorie teaches a morning routine. This is like your personal stuff in the morning that she does to start your day. The second session, I'm not going to go through that. It's pretty self-explanatory. The second section in green, slide up, is your activities. There we go. So how many break breads or coffees did you have that day with anybody who needs real estate or can refer real estate? So it's a pretty wide category, right? A past client, a current client, you go meet with a listing, you want to meet a listing that you have that's been on the market for a month and you got to talk about a price reduction and you go do it over coffee or over food, that would count. Daily phone calls. Those are outbound phone calls. How many did you make? Doesn't say conversations. She just wants you picking up the phone and calling people. Events attended or hosted. So that would be you went to a marketing event or a leads group, or you hosted a first-time home buying seminar or an investment property seminar. How many videos you sent? So videos sent doesn't mean different kind of videos. You can record one video and send it to 250 past clients, and that's 250 videos sent. How many hours prospected on the phone? How many hours prospected face-to-face per day? How many cards did you send? Anybody that you meet with in person needs a card sent. Every time. Any new listing gets a card sent. Any new contract gets a card sent. Like, people need to be reassured they made the right choice. People need to know you care. So if I make an offer on a house, am I nervous? Yes. I'm scared I made a mistake. And then I go open the mail and I get a card from my realtor that says, I know you're nervous. You didn't make a mistake. This house is great for you. I'm going to be here to hold your hand. You think it would help? It would help. But we don't think they need the extra touches because we forgot what it felt like the last time we bought a house. I am scared every time I buy a house. And I know I can afford it, and I'm still scared. So they are scared. Scroll up. We track our listing appointments. How many listing appointments did you go on this week? How many buyer consults did you have or showings? VIP business meetings. That's your relationship through leads groups or your own phone calls and networking of having relationships with business owners. Why would we want to have relationship with business owners? Because they make money and they have employees that need houses. It makes sense. That's like a builder is a business to business. How many written offers did you make and how many listings did you get signed? This part of the form can be painful because a lot of times what's on the line is a zero. But when you look at lots of zeros over and over again, what will happen? You'll get frustrated, and that will lead to more activity, which will lead to more dashes. So it's just about shining a light on your results. The green part is your activity. The white part is your results. Okay, in the evening, let's see the bottom. End of day wrap up. I don't know what this stuff is. Marjorie's going to teach it. The morning routine, I don't do that routine. She does, and she teaches it for realtors. The evening routine, she has something specific. The best one I love on here is bedtime. 2 reasons. Number 1, I love to sleep. But number 2 is you got to put a bedtime down and you got to go to bed. You don't go to bed when you're tired. You go to bed when you go to bed. You don't go to work when you feel like it. You go to work when you're supposed to go to work. And when you get in more of a routine about these things, you'll spend more focus time. Remember, my formula is your focus multiplied by your activity equals your results. If you don't have the results you're looking for, it's one of those 2 problems or maybe both. And your gut just told you which one your problem is. But this form will tell me which one your problem is. Okay, questions on that form?
Is it okay to unmute or?
Yeah, go ahead.
So on the realtor success tracker, I've noticed that, like on the lender side, it gives you, like a minimum standard or goal to reach each week or at least a suggestion number. On the realtor success tracker, those numbers are not there. So I didn't know if
they're customized for the realtor by the coach.
Okay.
Because some realtors are trying to do 2 sides a month, some are trying to do 20.
Okay.
Good question. Other question? I love that question.
Is there a different one for lending versus the realtor?
Yeah, we're about to get there. This is the realtor one.
Okay.
So if you're a lender and you just learned, now you guys got to pay attention. If you're a real lender and you just learned the realtor success tracker, what should you do with it?
Teach it to realtors.
Oh my God, dang, dang, dang. Like you got nothing to talk to realtors about, right? Now you're part of a national coaching program with really high success with their clients. And you can give it away for free and it doesn't bother me. And you go teach it. And then once a week you meet with them and see how they did and you show them how you did. No accountability, no coaching, just a little peer group. Let's get together, see if we worked hard last week. And you get together 3 or 4 weeks in a row with 3 or 4 realtors and teach them this form. Try it. I did it my entire career. All right, let's go to the loan officer of greatness tracker. And if you're a realtor, you can take this form and give it to your lender that you're using and say, hey, get your crap together and start filling this out. They're gonna, if you were my realtor and you came to me with a form like this, who would get my next pre-approved borrower or my next friend who needed to sell their house, do you think? Like, you gotta be in relationship. I know, like, technology's changing, but I'm telling you, as it changes, what it does is remove all the distractions and the paperwork. It doesn't remove the need for relationship and being highly active and highly visible. That's not going away. So for lenders, we're gonna go a little faster because most of you have been exposed to it, and I'll take questions at the end. So face-to-faces, up to 3 people counting you. So it's you plus 2. I don't want you counting face-to-faces when you do a leveraged event and you got 15 people there and you think you had 15 face-to-faces. Why? Because you didn't have a relationship with all 15 of them in that time frame. I want you one-on-one selling. So when you meet a borrower in person, I met a borrower in person, they just left for a loan consultation. I have one face-to-face already today. That counts. I'm meeting a realtor later on tonight for a happy hour one-on-one, a friend of mine. That counts. So any borrower appointments, any go to signings when you meet the borrower and both realtors, you count all those, like face-to-faces. You gotta have 15 a week if you want to do 8 loans a month. This form is built to get you 8 closings a month, 100 closings a year. Break breads, 5 of them have to be break breads. Break breads are like, you know, a happy hour sharing a drink, going to lunch with a realtor. Never take, this is for realtors and lenders, never take someone to lunch for business that you haven't already done business with. It doesn't work. So if break breads for me are retention tools, or maybe I'll take one of my business partners, like a builder, and ask them to bring one of their friends that's a builder and go to lunch. That's a buddy introduction. But that's how you do break breads. We want 5 a week. It's not easy, but no one said getting rich would be easy. Scroll up. Please, Rebecca. Great phone calls with leads. You know, these are these are dial outs conversation. So we want you to have 10 a day, 60 a week. Is it 10 or 12 on the line? Scroll up a little bit. 10. 60 a week. You should have more than 10. You can easily get it done in 5 days, but you know you're going to have some conversations on the weekend too. So Monday we do realtor calls. Tuesdays we do updates to the buyer and both agents. Wednesdays we call past clients. Thursday we call our pre-approvals and the agents we haven't pre-approved with. Fridays we make up for any calls we missed. It's not hard to make these outbound calls. It's not. If you don't have enough people to call more of your past clients. Get a bigger realtor list. This is not that hard. We used to pound people on, did you ask for business? And did you get a lead? And was it about business? Listen, all you got to do to make a phone call about business is remind them that you're a lender. How do you remind them that you're a lender? Hey, before I let you go, I just want you to know, we're one of the only lenders who has VA with 0 overlays and does manual underwrites. And we have no maximum loan amount on our VA loans. Not everybody can do that. I just want to let you know that in case you run across that. Have a great day. I just made a call about business that was friendship before that. I just want to remind you we have the Cal Have a Bond loan, and it helps people with down payment and a lower interest rate for first-time home buyers that make less than the 80% median income. I just want to make sure you knew we had that program, and I'll talk to you next week. That's all you got to do. You don't have to ask them if they have anybody, but you just inform. Like what we do is we educate people, we communicate with people, and we close on time. That's what we do. If you're not getting enough business, you're missing one of those 3. Okay, that's calls. Any questions so far? I'll take a pause on the first 3. Questions so far on those? Wow, I like it.
Hey,
Events.
Tim,
Yeah.
do you have the time blocks for when we make calls, like follow-ups on Tuesdays and stuff like that? I didn't see that in the spreadsheet.
Are you asking me if I tell you what time of day you should do it?
No, just what each day, who you should be making calls to.
That's theme days. There's a sheet for that Rebecca can send you. I just told
Perfect.
it to you real quick, but yeah, she has that.
Perfect.
All right, I'm gonna keep moving and then you guys can ask more questions at the end. Events, attend one or host one. So if you go to an event with a bunch of loan officers, that don't count. But if a realtor goes to an event with a bunch of realtors, it does. Why? Because a lender can't refer you a deal and get paid, but a realtor can refer a realtor a deal and get paid. That's why it's different. It's non-negotiable for me. For a loan officer, you got to hold a leveraged event, or you got to go to a realtor office meeting, or a builder meeting, or a BIA event, or a LATIP group, or a Toastmasters, or a whatever. Something where you're in front of a bunch of people, you look good, and you're networking and building relationships. You know, when you go to those leads groups, really all you're going to do is the people in the group's loans, they don't really refer that strong. But you can at least get those 10 people's loans. So it's not stupid. It's just not, don't plan on it changing your career path. It's just a way to get, I don't know, 4 or 5 deals a year out of that. All right, videos, send up to 4 video group videos a week. 1 to your current pipeline of pre-approved people, 1 to your realtors, 1 to your past clients, 1 to your builders. Updating them on the market, updating them on a new loan program, inviting them to an event you're doing. So you're going to be learning all this stuff, but that's how we do videos. Hours prospected. We divided it between phone and face-to-face. Do your best effort. Like if you're working on a loan, that's not sales time. If you're on the phone with a borrower or a realtor or a builder or a referral partner or a past client, that counts. If you're sitting in front of one of those people, that counts. If you're working on the PowerPoint for the event, that don't count. If I'm in front of a borrower for a consultation, that counts. If I'm meeting with a listing to lower the price, that counts. If I'm meeting with a buyer to ask them why they're not making offers, that counts. If I call a buyer and tell them, have you made any offers? And they say no, and I say, why not? That counts. Are there any questions on what sales time is? Driving to the event counts if I'm on the phone calling people. If I'm not on the phone, it don't. When I drive somewhere, I'm on the phone. All right, that's hours prospected, phone and face-to-faces. Thank you cards, 10 a week is what we want you to do. Anybody you met with and got pre-approved, any realtor that sent you a lead, any deal that closed to both agents and the buyer, it ain't that hard to come up with 10 people to thank, is it? We sit there and go, who am I going to thank? Any lead you got that week for talking to you. Any realtor that sent you a lead that week with a $1 scratcher. For realtors, anybody that gave you a lead that week with a $1 scratcher. Or don't do it with the $1 scratcher. I don't care. But do the thank you cards. It's impossible to be angry when you're in gratitude. And so the more I'm in gratitude, the more business I do. And the more I have to sit and think and write a card, and don't just write some scribble or some priest, that stuff is crap. When you write a card, you write something that you appreciate about them, something that you admire about them, or something that you respect about them. It's very simple, but it doesn't have to be very long. Remember that. It makes it easy. The second best thing is have your assistant fill out the cards and put the Post-its on it, because then I gotta fill out the card, otherwise I feel like I'm wasting money. That's a trick. Okay, leads, how many leads you got that week? And deals and pre-apps. A pre-approval is someone who came in and got pre-approved and is shopping. A deal is a refinance that locked or got a new deal that went into contract. Questions on that? Ooh, that's the longest one. The rest will be much faster. These are the most important ones to jump in and start today. Like 2 days, start filling these out. Your coach is going to ask you for them. Like on your first call, I want you to send these forms in. Your greatness tracker, and for realtors, your sales tracker, it gets turned in every time you get coached. You're going to have to learn to live by these forms. 2 ways to fill them out. One is as you go. Lots of people love that. I can't do it. I fill it out. I print my calendar out every day. On this side over here, I write down everybody I call. And then the next morning, I fill out my greatness tracker from this form. That's how I do it. I use my cell phone, I use this piece of paper, and I fill it out. Find a way that works for you. Find a way that works for you. Get the information accurately on this piece of paper. When I see full sales trackers for realtors, I see closings 3 or 4 months later. When I see full greatness trackers for lenders, I see leads 2 to 6 weeks later. Closings another 2 months after that. So the problem is what? You're going to start doing it, and 3 or 4 weeks later, you're going to not see the results you thought you might see. And then you might give up. Don't. Just keep filling it up. All right. What's next, Becca? Lead tracker?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I do budget first? I know it's a little out of order, but I never get to it. Okay, I'm doing budget.
Hey, Jim,
So,
could I ask a quick question about the lead
Yeah.
tracker?
yeah.
So, are there
No,
ways?
not on lead tracker, because I'm going to cover it, just not yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
So on the first call of the month, you're going to turn in your greatness. This is all in writing coming to you. You can write this down so it sticks in your head, but we're sending you a schedule and we're going to send you Outlook calendar invites that tell you what's due. So you don't have to freak out about remembering it right now. But the first call of the month is always the money call. So that's your personal family budget, which is embarrassing at first and hard to fill out. I'm going to cover it lightly. It took me 6 months to get it right. You're going to turn in, on the first call of the month, you're going to turn in your budget, your greatness tracker, and the second call of the month is the sales call. That one we turn in our lead tracker, our pay log, and then our greatness tracker, sales tracker. So I just wanted to cover these forms in order, Becca. That's why I switched. So there's 5 columns on your personal family budget. Column 1, columns go up and down, rows go side to side. So column 1 is just the title. Rebecca can send you an editable one. So you can edit the title of the category. House payment, car payment, student loans, credit card. Column 2 is the minimum owed that month. The minimum payment that month on non-negotiable things, right? So if I went on vacation, there'd be no minimum monthly owed. If I had my gas, my electric bill, there'd be a minimum monthly owed. If I had a credit card that I owed $2,000 on, there'd be a minimum monthly owed. So in column 2, I put the minimum payment owed on each category. As I'm writing my checks and paying my bills, I open it up, look at it, and fill it out. I do it at the same time. Column 3 is what I paid. So my house payment is $2,750. I pay $3,750. So in column 2, it says $2,750. In column 3, it says $3,750. Make sense? On my credit card, my balance $1,900. The minimum payment is $160. That goes in column 2. I paid it off $1,900. I put $1,900 in column 3. Does that make sense? Great. Column 4 is savings. How much did I save that month? And column 5 is deposits. How much money did I put in my bank account that month? So scroll up to the bottom now. This is where it gets tricky. If you have a 401k, is there anything entered in column 2? No, because there's nothing owed. If I have a 401k, is there anything in column 3? Bueller? Anyone? Unmute yourselves. I need some participation.
Yes.
Okay, wrong answer. Because you don't write a check for it. It comes out of your paycheck. This is only what you wrote checks for in column 3. Would it count as savings in column 4? Yes,
Yes.
there we go. See how weird it is? At first that seems weird, but then it makes sense because column 3 is just your checkbook. It's just, where did all the money go? Column 4 is what money went into your check, or excuse me, column 5 is what money went into your checkbook. Column 4 is savings. There's not a math equation between 3, 4, and 5. Took me 6 months to figure that out. I don't expect you to fully understand it at this moment. I'm just dripping this information on you. So then we want you to save 3 months of your minimum payments. Column, it's C on the screen right now, but it's column 2. We want you to save 3 months of that total. So your minimum, your survival number, maybe it's 6 or 7,000. We want you to have 20 grand in the bank for emergencies. So we're working towards that. Money market float needs to be 3 times that number. So maybe you have no money saved, but you need to have 17 so you know what you're working towards. And then we count how much money you saved this month, how much money you saved year to date, what your cash net worth is, what your total net worth is, and how much you've given. On the right side under net worth, we track your retirement funds, your stocks and bonds, your equity in your home, and your equity in your rentals. So it's a snapshot of your net wealth. It's painful. It's like going to the dentist. Every time I go, they say, have you been flossing? And I'm like, no, I haven't been flossing, not that much. You got to floss more. I know, I'll do better. And then I do better. So this is just a checkup. Don't trip out about it. Questions on this form? Like, I want to tell you something. My dad never talked about money. My brother still won't. My dad only talks about money when it's just me and him because I make it. I think that's embarrassing. I went to Sac State. I never graduated, but I did go. And I had some finance classes. And they never taught me one thing about credit cards or personal family budgeting. I think that's embarrassing. And so this form is us doing that. Like, get over the embarrassment. Talk about money. I have racked up credit card debt. I have had cars repossessed. So what? So what? I got better. The only way I got better is this stupid form. So embrace it. Embrace it. Yes, somebody got a question? Renee, yes.
So this is just our personal, so we don't do anything with our business stuff
You
at
do.
all?
Yeah, you do. So Marjorie will help you with a profit and loss, but it's way too much for this call.
Oh, okay, but it doesn't show up on this form at all.
If you're doing it right, it's a great question, Renee. So the way you're supposed to do it is a separate bank, not separate bank account, separate bank for your business, separate bank for your personal, and you do a P&L for your personal, and then you pay yourself in, or excuse me, you do a P&L for your business, and then you pay yourself for your personal, right? That's the way you're supposed to do it. And there's a revenue side and expense side on your business account that she's going to teach you.
Okay, so don't put my car on this
Yeah,
because
if your business pays your car, yes, you would put it on your business.
Okay,
Don't put it on both. Excellent question.
okay.
But she will definitely teach you that. I used to cover it on this call, but man, the eyes got glazed over and it was over. There's too much information. So good question.
Okay.
Other questions before I move on to the next form? Today is meant to be an introduction to these things, not a mastery event. And so you're going to have more questions, and on your calls, you're going to ask them, and you're going to get better and better at them. You're going to pay more and more attention to your sales activity, more and more attention to your money, more and more attention to your closing skills. You're going to role play, you're going to learn new strategies, and you're going to implement them. And then you'll wake up 2 years later, because it takes a long time for this stuff to stick. You can wake up 2 years later and people double and triple their business. Some people just grow 10% a year. Some people blow up. It's just about if they hug the program or they keep it at arm's length. I recommend you hug it. All right, next form. I say lead tracker. So lead tracker. First thing I want to say is no advertising leads go on here for lenders. I like to keep 2 separate lead trackers. One for like advertising, by advertising I specifically mean Zillow or whatever the other ones are that people do. Because that lead conversion is so low. So is everybody like if I'm a lender and I'm doing Zillow with Renee and we get 30 whatever clicks or whatever they are called, they're not leads, trust me, prospects, 30 prospects a month. And 2 of them set appointments with me, I would count 2 of them as leads. And I would keep those all in a separate form. And when they met with me, I'd move them over to my regular lead tracker. I would do that as a realtor or a lender. So the one I'm talking about is the real one, not those prospect gizmos. Okay, so the columns are easy, right? Their name, their code. So the source code is like over here on the right, PCR, use a little mouse over there if you can. PCR, past client referral. PC, past client. PF, personal friend. Now this is all being sent to you that shows you what the acronyms mean. I know I'm going fast. You don't have to remember all this. Realtors, obviously a realtor. Now, do realtors get leads from realtors?
Yes.
They do. Ads, advertising for lenders doesn't really exist. For realtors, it would be open houses, mostly open houses. That's what I think, but Marjorie will be more specific. Business is business to business. If I'm a realtor, if I get leads from a builder or the director at a hospital or my leads group, that's business. Builder is builder. CCR is current client referral. That's someone in process that refers you somebody. Current client referrals is a magical number. People will refer you during the process because it's all they're thinking about. And we teach you some scripts and ways to get more leads from the people that you have listed and the people you have shopping for homes and in escrow to close. Those people can give you leads that are real. And we don't work on that enough as an industry. So that's the acronyms. The refi purchase pre-op thing is not an acronym, obviously. So source in detail. So in detail would be like, I got a referral named Josh. It came from a realtor and her name was Renee. The results of the call are appointment set for July 3rd and the time of the appointment and then their phone number and over on the right, how many times I had to call them. I don't want you to give up until you call people at least 7 times. That's once a day for 7 days. Change the voicemail. On the 3rd or 4th voicemail, say, hey, Renee, it's Jim Reed again. I know you're tired of hearing my voice, but I want to make sure you don't fall through the cracks. And if you need me, I'm taking care of you because you got referred by Dallas, and it means the world to me that Dallas referred you. So if you're still looking to get pre-approved, please text me back. If you've been taken care of and you want me to leave you alone, that's okay too. You can text me that as well. Just leave that one. And then they'll go, I swear, half the time we go, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you. Yes, I need some help. Try that one, it works. But don't stop calling. Okay, scroll down. Okay, stop right there. Excuse me. So the goal section down here says total. I wish I had my mouse. Go over to the G. That's G for goal. So you got to fill out that column. That row, excuse me, left to right. How many CCRs do you want a month? How many PCRs do you want a month? How many past clients do you want a month? How many personal friends as leads do you want a month? How many realtor leads do you want a month? Advertising leads a month, business and builder. Add them all up and put them in the total box over there on the right side. Move your mouse to the right, a little bit right there, up top, higher up, and the goal stays right there. That's where you put the total. So if you're a lender, you're not closing 6 loans a month, your goal is 40 leads a month. That's your goal, 40 leads a month. If you're a realtor, your goal is at least 20 leads a month, not counting prospects. 1 lead every business day. That's the minimum. If you're doing big numbers, you got to up it. Loan officers close about 2 out of 10 leads. Realtors close about 1 out of 10 leads. So you got to get more leads than us, not less. Okay, so the L, go down there where the L is on the left side, that's leads. How many leads did you get? We coach you in the middle of the month. So you total this form up, even though it's not the end of the month, for the call. Make sure you heard me. I'm going to coach you in July. I want to see your July lead tracker. I know July's not over. Total it up and send it to me. I know what your goal is for the month. I know the leads you got for the month. I know the date. I can do some math and see if you're on track or not. Under T, that's transactions. Transactions means pre-approvals or locked refis. Pre-approvals or locked refis. That's a transaction for lenders. Transaction for realtors is a listing or an escrow from a buyer. So if you get a listing, we count that. And if you make an offer that gets accepted, we count that. And then you do the math. How many leads? Like this person wants to get 40 leads. If they do 40, go to the, move your little mouse to the right and the math section up top, higher up, right there. Right there, I'm going to put right there. I'm going to put my, whatever my goal is for this loan officer, it's 40. I don't know if you can enter 40 in there, Becca, see if you can. Push enter or something. So they should get 14 pre-approvals. Do you see how that works? And if they get 14 pre-approvals, they'll close 7 or 8 deals, which is 20% of 40. You guys got it? So that tells me what I'm supposed to do. Now down below it says what I did do. How many deals and how many pre-approvals, and then how many leads. It takes a little more math. And down at the bottom will give me what my true closing percentage is. And it's supposed to compare to the top line of what it should be. So if I got 40 leads, but I only did 10 deals, I missed 4 deals and I need to work on my closing skills. I know I'm giving you a lot, so just absorb what sticks. Don't try to understand it all. You're going to work on this every month. I'm going to tell you the biggest mistake I make though. When my leads go down, I focus on conversion. And that's a mistake. Every sales book I've ever read says the biggest mistake people make is when leads are down, they focus on conversion. What should they focus on?
Getting more leads.
Get more leads. The game is get more leads. I've tracked this for 20 years as a coach in the core. I still get coached by all my friends from the core. We all do it a little different. We all have the same closing rate. So the closing rate's the closing rate. You might be a little better than him, and she might be a little better than her, or you might be a little worse than that person. So what? It's all going to be about the numbers I already gave you. So the game is more leads solves all problems. Remember that. All right. What else do I got to do? How much time do I got? I got one more form, I hope.
Yep, pay log.
Okay, pay log. This one's easy. It'll go fast, and I'll take a couple questions and let you guys go. All right, pay log, simple form. Track your closings. As soon as you get a deal in escrow, put it in the month that it's going to close. So you get another folder, and it has your pay log and your personal family budget. Those are both money. Would you agree? So on your pay log, you have 12. For right now, you'd have 6 pay logs: July, August, September, October, November, December. Label them. Then you get a closing scheduled for October. Open the October one and write it in. Close date, client name, how much you're going to make, the mortgage amount or sales price, and the source of business. And then you total it up at the bottom at the end of the month, or when you get coached, scroll down. Units closed this month, units closed year to date. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's like an Excel spreadsheet that does the math for you, which is pretty cool. Because if you look down at the bottom, way down there, bottom, Rebecca, with your mouse, lower, lower, or lower, nope, go to the right, go to the right, go lower, nope, not that far right, right there, go lower, nope, lower, don't drag it, go lower, don't drag it, go lower, right there. November, December. It has all the months on the spreadsheet. They all kind of talk to each other and do the math. I don't know how someone figured that out, but they figured that out. So it'll keep your stuff accurate. I don't really like to do it that way. I do it with paper and a calculator and a pencil because I enjoy counting the money. So we're gonna know what your average commission is per unit, what your average commission is year to date, what your volume is. It's kind of like a paycheck. Now, I've covered a lot. So what I want you to remember out of this call is the rules from the beginning. The forms I just went over, you're going to learn more and more and more every call you do. And you got to do your best efforts and keep getting better. If you want to do more loans, you got to shine a light on whatever your weakness is. If you want to do more transactions as a realtor, I need you to shine a light on your business for us. And we will help you fix the things that will get you more business. And more money. And those aren't always the same thing. I see loan officers do more loans, but they don't make any money on them. I see the same thing in real estate. And so the challenge of this business is you got to be able to do both. Hold your price and do a lot of deals. No one said making a lot of money would be easy. Okay, I'm ready for questions. You can unshare, please. Ta-da! Questions about the semester? Yeah, Drew. Or
So
just
for
looking
lender,
at it, just doing a little
transactions
spin around?
equal
Go ahead.
transactions equal locked refis and pre-approvals.
On which form? On which form?
Lead tracker.
Yeah, so pre-approvals and locked transactions are, unlocked refis are transactions, yes. That's what you said, correct?
Yes.
Yes, you got it right. Good question.
Second question.
I don't know if you guys
Second
noticed
question.
how tan I am, but I just got back from Greece.
The
No
Connie's.
one laughed. Not even a smile crack, Rusty? Nothing? I got nothing out of that. All right. What else?
So my question is regarding the personal budget and some of the other forms. Do they get shared with everybody else in our coaching group or just with the coach?
With everybody in the group, brother.
Okay.
It's
And
painful.
Takani's.
It's painful. So what happens on the call stays on the call. I got distracted because one of you looks like my dad a little bit. So I just got a little distracted. I'm back. I'm focused. So what happens on the call stays on the call. You're going to know stuff about people. I mean, I'll tell you the best way to get the most out of this program. You might want to write this down. On your first call, start a group text between you and the other student. Leave the coach out of it. Become friends, acquaintances, talk, encourage, challenge, compete with the other people on the call. When I look back at the people in my coaching program that accelerated the most, the fastest, made the most money, saved the most money, they all invested in relationships with their coach students. Every single time. They helped each other implement. They held each other accountable. They created a little peer group each 6 months. And it works and it helps. And, you know, you're going to know stuff about people. They're going to talk about challenges with their spouse, their kids. They're going to talk about money and spending and rejection. You're going to know stuff about people. There's no other way to grow. But you don't get to go around telling everybody else's stories. What happens on the call stays on the call. My world record is $272,000 in credit card debt someone had to fess up on the first call. Tears all over the place. And then he felt better. And then we started working on it. He made minimum payments. He did more business. He made minimum payments on every credit card except the one with the smallest balance. And he paid it off. And each time he paid one off, we all stood up and clapped for him. 2 years later, zero debt. And some money in the bank. Would have never happened if he didn't have the guts to share it. That's the program. That's a good question. It does not get shared with people outside the call, in case you were gonna ask that, Jim. Like, I don't like send out a sheet for everybody to know everybody's stuff. Other questions?
Yeah, real quick for the lead tracker, is there one of the main reasons I'm in this program is figuring out what to say to get more leads?
Yeah.
Is there anything we can watch before our first call so that I can kind of have a,
Yeah.
a fatter pipeline on my first call and not show up with, one
Have you
lead?
ever YouTubed me?
I YouTubed Todd, but I can
Well,
YouTube
Todd
you.
don't do loans. That's your first mistake. Don't be a knucklehead. Todd ain't done a loan in 25 years, brother.
So I will YouTube you, Jim.
I would call Chris Clark. I would call everybody who does the most loans, the coaches who call the most loans, that close the most loans, and I would YouTube me. Like what you should do is make a database of your family, because I know it's big. With a name like Carlucci, you got to have like 17 cousins, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I would call all of them and let them know you're a loan officer and you need their help. It would sound just like this. Yo, it's Brian. What have you been doing? How come you don't call me more often? Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Make fun of an uncle or something. Hey, I need your help. And everybody go, what do you mean? Dude, I'm a loan officer. It's super tough right now. Anybody you know that needs to buy, refinance, or sell a house, I need you to think of me, man. Can you do that for me? If you called every family member you have between now and the time you get called, I guarantee you'd get leads. That's what you should do. I know your situation more than I know others. That's what you should do. Second thing you should do is like stop by 8 open houses every weekend for 10 or 15 minutes and then call all the realtors on Monday and try to meet them. That's going to take a longer time to flower for you. Bloom. It's going to take a longer time. The family calls will bloom much quicker. Other questions? Going once? Someone tell me what their biggest fear is about our program. Come on, somebody. What are you scared of? I was scared it wasn't worth the money when I got coached. At the time I made 110 and my record is 7 million in 1 year. And it's not because I'm smart. Because I do all the stupid stuff. Like, hard work is free. It's just a choice. Talent can't be purchased. Which one's more important?
Hard work.
Thank you. People think that they can't do it because they didn't get born with the talent. Bullshit. That is bull. If you're kissing those frogs, one of them will turn into a prince, buddy. You got to get out in front of more and more people. All right, you guys are too quiet for me. I'm all fired up back from vacation, looking good with my tan, and you guys are bringing me down. Go to work. See ya.